Her lawyer says she's still grieving over her missing toddler. Lonna Barton enters a new plea to child neglect and lying to police.
Ms. Barton's plea is freely and voluntarily entered with a full understanding of the nature and consequences of the plea. Therefore, I accept her plea as guilty.
Now, Barton will testify against the prime suspect in her son's disappearance. Reuben Ebron still scheduled to go on trial Monday. Possible testimony from the missing toddler's 5-year-old sister and DNA evidence were among the subjects dealt with this afternoon in the latest pretrial hearing for Ebron.
All along, police have called him the prime suspect in the July disappearance of this 21-month-old child Ebron was supposed to be caring for. News 4 Jax has in-depth coverage of all of today's developments, including Lonna Barton's guilty plea, how he got to this point in the case. But first, Channel 4's Chris Parento. He's live outside the courthouse where the latest hearing just wrapped up. Chris.
It did. Over an hour and a half of motions being discussed. Some motions that the state and the defense saw eye to eye on. Others that they disagreed very much about. That first motion that was discussed was a motion by the state to sever counts 1 through 4 against Reuben Ebron from counts 5, 6, and 7. Allowing that to happen would allow for next week's trial for Ebron to be for 2 counts of child neglect, 1 count of giving false information to law enforcement, and 1 count of tampering with evidence. The other charges related to attempted escape would be tried separately, since Ebron's right to speedy trial runs through February 17th on those charges. Both the state and the defense agreed that should happen, and the judge allowed it. They also discussed the guardian ad litem for Lonna Barton's sister. She took the stand to testify that she didn't feel the child should have to testify in trial. She claimed that the child was not competent as a witness and has recounted the story of that night's actions 3 or 4 different ways. The judge set a competency review hearing for the child tomorrow at 2 p.m. The judge also heard a motion from the defense, who argued that DNA evidence obtained inside of Ebron and Lonna Barton's apartment should not be admissible in trial because Ebron is not charged with injuring any child, only neglect of a child, and the defense attorney said that would only confuse a jury. The judge denied that motion and said if the state could prove that that DNA evidence was placed there or happened there during the time frame of the neglect, that could be used in court in trial of Reuben Ebron. The judge also set a hearing for tomorrow at 3 o'clock for a review of a motion by the defense to suppress cell phone evidence taken from Reuben Ebron while he was being questioned by police. The defense attorney claims that evidence was obtained illegally. We'll have much more on this hearing coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. Live at the Duval County Courthouse, I'm Chris Parento, Channel 4, the local station.
And as we said at the top of the news, the missing child's mother has now pleaded guilty to charges of child neglect and lying to police. A new development we first told you yesterday was coming at 8:30 this morning. Barton entered her plea. We let you know about it with a push alert from our News 4 Jax app. When she is sentenced, she could get up to 5 years in prison. Channel 4's Vic Micolucci broke the story about the anticipated plea. He's joining us now live from the courthouse. Vic.
And it only took her, Tom, about 15 minutes to enter those 2 guilty pleas. And because of that, now she is agreeing that she will testify against Reuben Ebron in his trial, which is still scheduled to start next week. But prosecutors were quick to point out that she has lied in the past, especially to authorities.
There is a written plea form.
26-year-old Lonna Barton showed little emotion as she walked into the courtroom this morning, handcuffed and shackled. She's been at the Duval County Jail since October, but now has pleaded guilty.
She pled straight to the judge to everything that she could be charged with.
The charges stem from before her son Lonzie disappeared. Prosecutors claim she and Reuben Ebron didn't take good care of him. They didn't get him medical treatment when he was sick, and they exposed him to their lives of drugs and other illegal activities.
While being aware that the child had some injuries.
Assistant State Attorney Rich Manti says as part of the plea, she agreed she will testify if she's called as a witness in the case against Ebron, her boyfriend at the time, who was watching the toddler when he disappeared. Ebron claimed the boy was abducted in his car. but was caught on camera ditching the vehicle a few blocks away.
The only condition of her plea, the only concession regarding her plea, she is testifying and will testify.
That means the court could hear details about what happened to Lonzie. Details neither Lonna Barton nor Ruben Ebron have shared. The boy's body still has not been found, but police believe he's dead, calling the case a homicide.
I would say she's frustrated that she does not know where her son is.
That's Barton's attorney, Kevin Carlisle. He says his client told him she doesn't know what happened to the toddler and she's not involved with his disappearance or death.
She's still grieving, and I'd say it's very rough on her not knowing what happened to her son.
Barton is scheduled to be sentenced on the charges next month. She faces up to 5 years in prison. The judge could also release her on time served, saying she's already spent enough time behind bars.
Well, it's going to be up to Judge Borrello, and his discretion. We'll try to do our best to create a favorable outcome for her.
Lonna Barton was transferred back to the Duval County Jail. Remember, she also faces separate drug-related charges in Baker County. Those have nothing to do with this case. If she's convicted on those, well, she could spend even more time behind bars. Live at the Duval County Courthouse downtown, I'm Vic Michelucci, Channel 4, the local station.
Vic, thank you. And we've been closely following the Lonna Barton investigation since July 24th. That's when the toddler was first reported missing, and an Amber Alert was subsequently issued. Joy is standing by to break down how we got from there to today.
Lindsay, it's been almost 6 months since Lonna Barton vanished. Now, police say the last person who saw the then 21-month-old alive, Ruben Ebron, when he reported his vehicle missing. That was early July 24th. Ebron told police he put the child in his car and walked back to the apartment. Well, later that day, police found Ebron's car and issued an Amber Alert for Lonna Barton, and that same day he was charged with child neglect. Then, August 3rd, police say they discovered surveillance video showing Ebron abandoning the car he claimed was stolen with Lonzie inside. Over the next 9 days, officers and volunteers, they searched for Lonzie until the search area was scaled back. Then, August 18th, Lonna Barton charged with child neglect and lying to police. Barton was released from the Duval County Jail on bond, but September 16th, Lonna Barton was arrested again, this time in Baker County on those drug charges. Her bond was revoked back in Duval County. She was taken back to the jail there. More drug charges were filed against her September 18th. Now, many court hearings later for Barton and Ebron leads us to today and Barton's plea agreement. We will keep you updated on the case, including in-depth coverage on their trial on air and online on news4jax.com. Tom?
Thank you, Joy. And for those of you who are just joining us, here again is a look at the latest developments in this investigation. Lonna Barton pleaded guilty to 2 charges, child neglect and lying to police. In exchange for her plea, she will testify against the prime suspect in her son's disappearance, Ruben Ebron. He was also in court today for a hearing on pretrial motions. His defense team will be back in court tomorrow, so the judge consider new motions just submitted today. One of them involves a competency hearing on a possible witness, Lonna Barton's 5-year-old sister. Our coverage does not end here. In just minutes, our crime and safety expert, Gil Smith, will give us his analysis of where the case stands now. And coming up at 5:30, Channel 4's Kamasi Aaron spoke with some of the people who searched for the little boy.